Hello everyone. Welcome back to Brainwave Rise. If you love looking up at the sky, you're in for a treat tonight. We've got an amazing celestial event. The crescent moon will be joined closely by a bright planet, and it's something you won't want to miss. In this video, I'll tell you which planet is next to the moon, where and when to see it depending on where you are, and what exactly this astronomical alignment means. Let's get started. Tonight's sky offers something really special for stargazers and casual viewers alike. As the early morning hours arrive, the crescent moon won't be shining alone. Just beside it, you'll spot the bright planet Venus glowing brilliantly against the dawn sky. This kind of moment, where the moon and a planet appear close together, is called a conjunction. Conjunctions aren't rare, but each one looks a little different depending on which planet is involved, how thin or full the moon is, and where you're viewing from. That's what makes them exciting. No two are ever quite the same. What makes tonight extra special is that it's not just a moon, Venus show. The bright star Regulus, which is the heart of the constellation Leo the Lion, will also be right there. So let's clear up the main question: which planet is sitting next to the moon tonight? The answer is Venus, often called the morning star when it shines before sunrise, or the evening star when it appears after sunset. Venus has this nickname because it's usually the very first point of light you notice in the sky, even when the sky is starting to brighten. Now, why does Venus look so bright compared to other planets? It's not because it's the biggest planet. In fact, Jupiter is much larger. Venus shines so strongly because it's relatively close to Earth and its thick cloud cover reflects sunlight extremely well. Think of it like a giant cosmic mirror in the sky. When you see Venus next to the moon tonight, remember that even though they look close together, they're actually incredibly far apart. The moon is only about 384,000 kilometers away from us, while Venus, at its nearest, is about 40 million kilometers away. This makes conjunctions like tonight's a great reminder of how our perspective on Earth creates these magical line UPS in the sky. And here's a fun fact: Venus has been observed since ancient times. Civilizations like the Babylonians and the Maya carefully tracked its appearances and disappearances in the sky. Some cultures even built their calendars around Venus's cycle. So when you step outside and see the moon and Venus together, you're experiencing something humans have admired and celebrated for thousands of years. So yes, tonight's bright companion to the moon is the beautiful planet Venus, shining like a jewel in the pre-dawn sky. Now that we know it's Venus hanging out with the moon, the next big question is, when and where should you look to actually see it? The good news is, you don't need any fancy equipment or telescopes, just your eyes and a clear view of the sky. The key detail is timing. The best chance to see the celestial meeting is about 2 hours before sunrise. That's when the moon and Venus will be rising together, still low on the horizon, but bright enough to be spotted easily. So if sunrise in your city is at 6:30 a.m., try to be outside and looking around 4:30 or 5 a.m. Setting an alarm might feel tough, but trust me, it's worth it. This kind of alignment doesn't happen every day. Next is direction. You'll want to face the east-northeast horizon. That means if you know where the sun normally comes up, look slightly to the left and a little higher above that point. The crescent moon will be thin, but its glow will guide your eyes to Venus just below it. And nearby, a little fainter but still visible, will be the star Regulus. Together, they'll form a tight little group in the early dawn sky. If you live in parts of Europe, Africa, Asia, or Canada, you may even see something even rarer: the moon actually moving in front of Venus and covering it up. This is the occultation I mentioned earlier. It looks like Venus disappears behind the moon's edge, then reappears on the other side a short while later. Imagine watching the moon act almost like a curtain, briefly hiding a planet from view. It's a really magical thing to catch if you're in the right place. The only challenge could be the horizon view. Since the moon and Venus are going to be low in the sky, you'll need a clear line of sight with no tall buildings or trees blocking the view. If you can get to an open field, a rooftop, or even a clear street with a wide sky, you'll have the best chance. So, remember the 3 keys. Time, about 2 hours before sunrise. Direction, look toward the east-northeast. Clear view, make sure nothing is blocking your horizon. With those tips, you'll be ready to catch one of the most beautiful and simple stargazing experiences of the year. So, why is tonight's moon, Venus pairing such a big deal? It comes down to a few things that make this event both beautiful and scientifically fascinating. First, the crescent moon is only about 2% illuminated right now. That's an extremely thin sliver of light, which makes the moon look delicate and sharp in the sky. And when the moon is this thin, you often get to see a phenomenon called earthshine. This is when sunlight bounces off Earth and faintly lights up the dark side of the moon. It creates that gentle glow across the part that's usually invisible. It's subtle, but it's one of the prettiest things you can spot when the moon is in a slim crescent phase. Next, the triple conjunction tonight makes it even more special. You don't just have the moon and Venus, you also have Regulus, the brightest star in Leo. These 3 points of light will be clustered so closely together that, in some places, they'll appear less than half a degree apart, which is about the width of your pinky finger held at arm's length. It's rare to see such a tight grouping of bright objects. And remember, in some regions, the moon will actually cover Venus in what's called an occultation. That's an event you might only witness a few times in your life, depending on where you live. It makes tonight's skywatching opportunity not just beautiful, but genuinely rare. For photographers, it's also a fantastic chance to capture the sky in a unique way. The thin moon with Earth shine, Venus shining like a jewel below it, and Regulus nearby all make for a dramatic scene. Add in the soft colors of the early dawn sky, and you've got a natural photo opportunity that doesn't come around often. So, whether you're into astronomy, photography, or you just enjoy looking up at the sky now and then, tonight is special because it combines beauty, rarity, and a little bit of cosmic science all in one view. Alright, so now that you know what's happening, when, and why it's special, let's talk about how you can make the most of it. These are some simple tips to help you enjoy tonight's sky show and maybe even capture it as a memory. 1. Pick the right spot. Try to find a place with a clear view of the eastern horizon. If there are lots of tall buildings, trees, or hills in front of you, you might miss the moon and Venus since they rise pretty low in the sky at first. A rooftop, a balcony, an open field, or even a quiet street corner where you can see the horizon works great. 2. Time it well. Set your alarm a little earlier than usual, because the best time to look is about 2 hours before sunrise. If you wait until the sun starts coming up, the brightening sky will make it harder to see Venus and the faint crescent moon. 3. Use your eyes first. Don't stress about equipment. The best part about this conjunction is that it's visible to the naked eye. Just looking up with your own eyes, you'll notice the moon and Venus shining together. That simple view is often the most magical. 4. Binoculars or small telescope, optional. If you do have binoculars or a small telescope at home, use them. They'll make Venus shine even more clearly, and you'll see the crescent shape of the moon in detail. But again, these are optional. Most people can enjoy this with nothing but their eyes. 5. Capture the moment. If you want to take pictures, even a smartphone camera can do the job. Place it on a steady surface or a small tripod to avoid shaky images. Try to include something in the foreground like trees, a building, or mountains because it makes the moon, Venus pair look even more dramatic. 6. Don't forget Earth shine. Look closely at the moon. You'll notice that the thin crescent is bright, but the dark part of the moon isn't completely invisible. That faint glow across the rest of the moon is called Earth shine, and it's beautiful to capture or simply notice with your eyes. 7. Just enjoy it. Sometimes, the best thing is to pause and take it in. These events are short-lived, but they remind us how amazing the universe really is. Even if you don't get the perfect photo, the memory of seeing Venus and the moon together will stay with you. So there you have it. Venus is the planet next to the moon tonight. If you wake up early and get outside before dawn, you'll get to see one of the most beautiful sky pairings of the year. Don't forget to share your photos if you try it, and tell me in the comments where you saw it from. Hit like if you love space stuff, and subscribe so you don't miss future skywatching alerts. See you next time under the stars.